Mara Salvatrucha, or MS-13, is one of the most violent and dangerous gangs in the world.
For too long, Washington has gone after law-abiding gun owners while making life easier for criminals, drug dealers, traffickers, and gang members. MS-13, you know about MS-13?
Forget the guns, forget the bullets. The most feared weapon in the world's most brutal gang is something far more primitive. It's the machete, and it's the signature of a terror organization that lives by one simple, chilling code: kill, rape, control. That is the motto of Mara Salvatrucha, or MS-13. They are not a street gang. They are a transnational terror machine, designated by the FBI as a threat unlike any other. What you are about to hear is not a movie. It is the documented, horrifying reality of what happens when organized crime meets absolute brutality. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on the brutal tactics that shape their legacy. We show you the crimes, the victims, and the chilling truth behind the world's most feared gang. Chapter 1, The Origins of Evil. The story of MS-13 doesn't begin in the barrios of Los Angeles. It begins in the blood-soaked fields of El Salvador. In the 1980s, a brutal civil war forced thousands of refugees to flee north, seeking safety in the US. What they found was a new kind of war. In LA, these young Salvadoran refugees were outsiders. They were prey for the established Mexican gangs. To survive, they formed their own crew, Mara Salvatrucha. The name itself is a declaration of war. Mara for gang, Salva for Salvadoran, and Trucha meaning trout, or in street slang, alert or sharp. They were different. They weren't fighting for drug corners. They were fighting for survival. But the US had a solution: deportation. They sent thousands of these hardened criminals back to El Salvador, a country ill-equipped to handle them. The US created a pipeline exporting its gang problem directly to Central America. And in those brutal, overcrowded prisons, MS-13 didn't just survive, it evolved. It became the monster we know today, the monster that would eventually return to our streets. Chapter 2, Brutal Tactic, the Initiation. To join MS-13, you don't fill out a form. You don't pay dues. You pay in blood. The initiation ritual is known as the jump-in. It is a brutal, non-stop beating by multiple members for exactly 13 seconds. But that is only the beginning. The beating is to show you can take pain. But the real test is the mission. They don't want you until you've killed. You have to prove you are willing to commit the ultimate act. It's a one-way ticket. Once you kill for the Mara, you belong to the Mara. Federal prosecutors revealed that the gang's rules explicitly require prospective members to commit a murder to gain full membership. This isn't about turf. This is about creating a legacy of terror. And the preferred tool for this initiation? The machete. It is a weapon of pure, visceral terror. It leaves a message. It is a symbol of their absolute control. It ensures that the crime is not just a murder, but a spectacle of brutality, a warning to anyone who dares to cross them. Chapter 3, Case File, The Long Island Massacre. In the quiet suburbs of Long Island, New York, MS-13 found a new hunting ground. They targeted high school students using the promise of belonging to lure them in.
An update now on Long Island, where the head of a violent gang learned his fate. The parents of 4 victims killed by MS-13 gave emotional impact statements just before the 68-year sentence was handed down. As John Diaz explains, the leader will likely spend the rest of his life in prison.
But when the victims tried to leave, the gang responded with a level of violence that shocked the nation.
A judge sentenced an MS-13 gang leader to 68 years in prison for his role in 8 murders, including the brutal killings of Long Island high school students. The victims were lured to a park, surrounded, and then hacked to death with machetes.
Imagine the horror. Imagine the fear. These were not rival gang members. They were teenagers, and their only crime was wanting out. The courtroom became a chamber of grief as the parents faced the men who took their children. Their words, a testament to the unimaginable pain inflicted by MS-13.
You took my daughter, you took her dreams, you took her future, and you did it with a smile. You are not men, you are monsters, and your legacy is nothing but blood.
Chapter 4, The Transnational Terror.
but MS-13 is particularly violent.
A dangerous MS-13 gang leader linked to nearly a dozen murders was arrested on Long Island after 4 years on the run.
It is the policy of this administration to dismantle, decimate, and eradicate MS-13.
Señorita. Abra la puerta, pues.
Si ella no quiso pagar, lo primero que hacemos, le dijimos a la esposa.
You have a gang called MS-13. They are the equivalent or worse than Al-Qaeda. They don't like to shoot people, they like to cut people. They do things that nobody can believe. These are true animals.
The violence on Long Island was a wake-up call. It forced the U.S. government to confront the true nature of MS-13. They are not just a domestic problem. They are a transnational threat, operating with the coordination of a terrorist cell. From their stronghold in El Salvador, the leaders of MS-13 direct operations across the globe. They use encrypted communication to order hits, coordinate drug trafficking, and enforce their brutal code. They have spread far beyond the coasts, establishing cells in the heartland of America.
The Nashville cell was a critical hub for their drug and human trafficking operations. They were using the city as a base to expand their terror. This was not a local gang. This was a sophisticated international criminal enterprise.
The border is not a barrier for MS-13. It is a highway. They exploit weaknesses in the system, sending hardened killers north to commit crimes and fresh recruits south for training. This is a war fought on two fronts, and the enemy is organized, ruthless, and absolutely dedicated to their legacy of fear. Chapter 5. The Legacy of Fear. The legacy of MS-13 is not just the body count. It is the fear. It is the control they exert over entire communities. They don't need to be everywhere. They just need to make an example of one person, and the entire neighborhood falls silent. They are a machine. The leaders in El Salvador give the order, and the soldiers in Long Island or Nashville execute it. There is no questioning. There is no mercy. The only thing that matters is the Mara. The courts can sentence the soldiers, the police can dismantle the cells, but the true battle is against the idea that a life of brutality is the only way out. The idea that fear is the ultimate currency. MS-13 has shaped its legacy in blood, and until that legacy is broken, the shadow of the machete will continue to fall across our streets. The fight against MS-13 is far from over, but the first step is knowing the truth about their tactics, their history, and the fear they spread. If you want to see more stories like this, stories that expose the darkness and fight for the light, then hit that subscribe button. Like this video and tell us in the comments, what is the most shocking thing you learned about MS-13? Your support keeps us on the front lines of the truth.